Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, or as my dad misheard me when I was talking about it, Scooby-Doo and the Hunger Strikes, is a wonderful Metroidvania creating brilliant platforming challenges from Scooby-Doo's best monsters and ideas. Ruh-roh, the Mastermind has somehow raised the price of snack gates to be the cost of modern inflation. How the Mastermind knows what the price of things will be in March 2025 when it's 2002, I'll never know. But it seems as though inflation will cause the dollar to be $1.75 compared to 2002. They truly are a monster! Is there anyone called Emmy Econ around here? If so, they're definitely the Mastermind. Get it? Economy? Yeah, it's not my best. Here are the rules. We'll be collecting Scooby snacks to open the higher priced snack gates. We won't be using any glitches to get to areas before the game expects you to. If we can beat the fiendish Mastermind, then we win. Let's begin. You usually need 25 snacks to get into the manor, which adjusted for inflation is now 44. An easy task, as this manor, which I don't even want to imagine how much it would cost to buy in 2025, has a massive playground and an ice rink with plenty of snacks. No, but seriously, this house is huge! I actually went to the trouble of counting how many rooms this place has. The building is 7 stories high with 2 stories in the cellar and an additional 2 stories up on the roof. 11 stories high! In terms of rooms, the house has 42 rooms, with 6 secret rooms behind fireplaces and so on. The attic has 12 rooms, the cellar 14, and the secret lab has 11 rooms, plus 6 in the catacombs connecting the lab and cellar, but it's debatable if you would class them as rooms. Just say it has a sizable basement on Rightmove and people would eat it up. So 91 rooms in all, and that is severely lowballing it. This is assuming that the transition screens don't have a corridor or two between them, and let's be real, some of these rooms are bigger than entire apartment complexes. Plus, planning permission would probably want to add a couple more doors and walls if this was being designed today. Parts of the structure are falling apart, so there were definitely more rooms at one point. I would add, at an absolute minimum, another 10 rooms. And that's just the inside. This property contains exquisite balconies, a hedge maze, a 3-story greenhouse the size of Comic-Con, with gardens that stretch beyond. Sure, this entire building is extremely dangerous and there's a literal parade of thorns stretching as far as Glastonbury, but I doubt that would affect the price. Given that it's a TARDIS in this economy, we're probably talking hundreds of millions. But I digress. You used to need 50 Scooby snacks to get through Shock on the Dock, but with inflation that's now 88, plus the 19 from the previous snack gate. This game isn't taking away the inflated number, so I have to make those calculations myself. This chart contains the location, the original cost of the snack gate, the new cost of the snack gate, the cumulative cost of just the inflated numbers, how much I actually need to pay for the snack gate, and the amount of snacks the game claims I have at the time of reaching the snack gate. Hopefully this is easy enough to understand, I'm aware it's a lot of maths. Upon collecting the double jump, we backtrack to collect all that was just out of reach and make our way through the hedge maze. It's at this point we're going to push one of the rules to its limits. As I mentioned before, Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights is a Metroidvania, so as you progress, it really wants you to backtrack multiple times to get everything once you get new gadgets. But also, the game is kind of broken in the best way. Collision on walls is hilarious, and more of a suggestion than anything. They sometimes work as intended, but certainly not always. So I'm going to utilise this a little bit to get a couple snacks I wouldn't be able to otherwise. Every little helps, but as long as I'm not getting into an area early, it's all good, right? Right. Getting out of the hedge maze and into the greenhouse cost 150 snacks originally. Quite the leap up. So I now need 320. Fortunately, I have 581, so no biggie for now. But that's gonna rapidly change. To get to the hill, I now need 477 snacks. I only have 560. Yep, see, that number is closing in. There's also a lot of snacks we're not able to get to, which is unfortunate. Thankfully here, we get the helmet to break things when we charge, so we can collect a couple of snacks on the dock before we head back into the manor as we were unable to progress to the next room without the helmet. Our next milestone is in Clamour in the Manor, where I'll need 653 snacks. I have 759, so 106 to spare. Hopefully there's a lot of snacks before the next snack gate. And actually, yeah! There's 2 whole areas before the next gate. Mind your manners and all scares upstairs. But the game drastically ramps up the price. I need 1,067. Oh boy, I can pay it. I have 1,134. But the next one? No way. Panic in the Attic wants 1,419, and I only have 1,273. Yeah, this is impossible. So, I guess that's it. And I would have gotten away with finishing this challenge too, if it weren't for that meddling inflation and that dumb speedrun restriction. But is this really over? You've seen the timestamp, you know it isn't. If you can cheat by artificially inflating the snack gates, then so can I. Cheat, that is. I'm not going to make the number even higher. Let's invoke some speedrun strats. There are multiple versions of the any% run, each one increasing in difficulty to perform, as they have some truly demanding tricks. I'll get into those later, but I'll be doing the easiest and longest any% route. Though, I'm being a little contradictory, as for this challenge, it's now the hardest route, as there will be more snack gates to pay. But this any% route is easy enough that I can teach you the strats, and you can try it at home yourself. So let's go! The run begins exactly the same way as the first attempt until you get into Hedge Maze. In Hedge 3, there's a gate that acts as a return gate. There are plenty of them in the game which act as one-way paths until you unlock it later, and then it serves as a shortcut to help with the 100% collection by opening on both sides. But before we glitch through there, the speedrun wouldn't usually go through the Shaggy section, but there's nearly 100 snacks here, so of course I'm getting them. Alright, the gate. If you hold the analog stick diagonally, sometimes you'll clip through. It's incredibly precise, and I've seen a lot of speedruns die to this. Sometimes you get it instantly, and other times it takes minutes. At least, that was the case. Speedrunner Kazembo did a joke dance mat speedrun back in late 2016, early 2017. Naturally, a dance mat doesn't have analog, and they discovered accidentally that if you just point the D-pads diagonally, it becomes the perfect angle. No one realized this. For years, everyone had used analog. Crazy, I love this so much. And like that, we're through. Welcome to Misbehavin'. We'll be collecting all the snacks and these keys as we'll be coming back here later. Next, we go backwards through the gate and skip the snack gate. It's usually 550, so that is a hefty skip. But to answer the question immediately on your mind, yes, we're going through all 4 sections of cliff backwards. Instead of going from right to left, we're now going left to right, just as 2D platformers intended. There's a couple snacks you can't get as the game wants you to come back here when you have the umbrella, but we'll collect all we can and arrive at the hill where you collect the helmet. Yep, you skip all of Greenhouse, the previous hill levels, and get a lot of snacks in the process. Wonderful. But now, this is where the run deviates. The Scooby community has evolved a heck of a lot in the last decade. Every name on the any% leaderboard has contributed to this game in a big way. They're all lovely people, and if any of this game's speedrun intrigues you at all, please don't hesitate to give it a go. And if you require any help, message people on the Scooby Discord, they'll be more than happy to help. I'll leave a link to the speedrun.com page that links to the Discord, but there's also some incredibly helpful guides. Harsh, Holy Sanctum, Nestani, Sam Speedruns, and Summer Sunset 2007 have posted incredible guides for the various categories and tricks. If you're wanting a video guide, they're there. If you're more of a reader, Summer created a 170-page encyclopedia on the game's history and tricks with easy-to-digest info and links to each trick. This community is awesome. But as I said before, this is where the route differs. I'll be using Mortal's World Record run as footage for this, as I'll be honest, I can't do these tricks. It was discovered you can enter creepy crawlies without the need for a body slam, which skips a lot of areas. But there's also a trick called GGS. GGS separates the amateurs from the pros. I am very much an amateur. GGS stands for Green Ghost Skip. You don't go through the multiple levels to reach the Green Ghost, beat them, and then get the umbrella to ride the wind. Instead, you simply climb the wall. Oh, easy, right? Wrong. This is so unbelievably precise. There are a couple of tiny spots you can stand on, and then you have to bonk a bat to reach the very top. People take days, weeks learning this, and even then it's easy to get it wrong. Especially if you're on a personal best run and nerves are getting to you. Anyone who has learned this is a legend. I tried once upon a time, I'm simply not good enough. So we'll be doing something a little different. We'll be doing Galoshes Skip. We're still warping to the dock where people would now go to creepy crawlies, but instead we're going to head to the right to go to Fishy. You see, this tar on the ground stops us from jumping, and usually we would have the galoshes to get past this no problem. But I guess instead we'll just have to jump over an invisible wall by utilising a box and jumping past the spooky groundskeeper. It's a little tough to get, but with the right angle and a little patience, you'll get it eventually. We make our way through Fishy, collecting all we can until... oh my gosh, a snack gate! Do you remember those? It's been quite a while. The last one was originally 50, and this one is 450, so quite the leap. But inflated, we'll actually need 846, which is no problem at all, as we have 1,315. Fantastic! We now make our way through Coast for some ghosts, where in Coast 3 we see a lot of Scooby snacks on some boats that we'll definitely want to get. But how do we reach them without the Super Slam? I think Summer Sunset describes it best from our old playthrough. You can either swing on the invisible fishnet like Tarzan, or walk across the water like Jesus. Both, let's do both! If you get hit by the flying fish, you can walk on water until your invincibility frames run out. Rush to the boat to collect the snacks. On the way back, we'll use the Tarzan method. When you slam on the switch, the net moves into place, but the collision is there before it moves, so you can just jump for it and swing on nothing. At the end of this room is our next snack gate. A mighty 1,273 is needed. We have 1,274. What? Okay, sure, maybe there's a couple of snacks I missed here and there. I could have got some in cliffs if I jumped and plummeted, but wow, I didn't expect it to be that close. The next snack gate awaits, but first we'll be getting our Super Smash power. Shortly after that in Lighthouse Fright House 2, we'll see a 500 snack gate that leads into Creepy Crawlies. But as I've already shown, you don't actually need to pay this, as you can Super Smash from Shock on the dock. So haha, that saves us a lot of snacks. Our next destination is to get the umbrella by beating the green ghost. So we head back through the hedge maze, go through the gate to Misbehaven, which is now just open without having to clip through, and then we'll be using our final challenging speedrun skip. It's the kind of skip that's easy to learn, but the enemy AI can make it a bit annoying sometimes. Because we don't have the suction cups which you get from Creepy Crawlies, we can't climb the slippery surface leading to the gate. So what you'll want to do is lure one of the fish over, then bonk them to get some height, and then jump in the air from that and mash the button to open the gate. If you're high enough, you'll open it and skip that section. If you make a mistake by accidentally killing the enemy, just leave the room and come back and the enemy will respawn. After that, it's smooth sailing. We make our way through more Misbehaven, and then tight spot for a grave plot, and one-way trip to the crypt until... Ooh, this might be a problem. A 600 snack gate will become 1,052. That's quite steep. Oh, but don't worry, I don't plan on paying that. I haven't really explained warp gates, but they are what they sound like. It's fast travel. Once you've touched one, you can warp between the ones you've touched, and only the ones you've touched. Except for one. For some reason, you can just warp to the next warp room from this specific warp gate. Why? Best guess an oversight from the devs, but it's very helpful in a speedrun, and it's very helpful in this run. We collect all the snacks we can, and then defeat the green ghost. If you try speedrunning this, just know this boss sucks. RNG is not your friend. With the umbrella in our possession, I warp to the dock to Super Smash into Creepy Crawlies, where we will do one more trick. You're supposed to use bubbles to get into the lab, but you can actually just climb this wall to get in. You may be thinking that this looks very similar to GGS, and in concept, yes it is, but this is way easier. There's lots of little points to climb and room for error if you get the angle a little wrong. Not so with GGS. But with that done, we're in the lab, and we just need to make our way to the 850 snack gate to reach the final boss. The final gate with inflation is now 1,491, meaning we need 2,264 in our possession to open the door. We're a couple hundred short, but you didn't think this would be a problem, did ya? We didn't actually head back into the manor. I head there and get all the snacks up until the first snack gate, then warp away to get to wreck on the deck as I have the umbrella, which as you can see has more than enough. Nothing to worry about at all. All that's left is to open the gate and take the Mastermind down. The Mastermind is a difficult boss, and there's no shame in dying to him a couple of times casually or in a speedrun. But we beat him, and with that, this challenge is complete. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe, and also subscribe to my second channel, Teal's Tales, which is where I'm going to be posting more content like this from now on. I've got a video coming out every other week, so stay tuned. I want to give a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you once again. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.